and life-threatening anomaly called corruption in order to maintain the growth and sustenance of democracy. Professor Yemi Osinbajo stated this at the opening of the National Dialogue on Corruption in Abuja.
What the impression was about integrity in the judiciary, and it was a scale: corrupt, notoriously corrupt, very corrupt, not corrupt, etc. And 89% of those legal practitioners who practice regularly in the courts of Lagos State said that the judiciary was notoriously corrupt. Notoriously corrupt. 89%. Now, and you see, the point of the matter is that when you look at it, obviously, when the judiciary is notoriously corrupt, it also means that the entire administration of justice system, because when you speak about the judiciary, it's not just about judges sitting down, it's an administration of justice system issue. There are clerks, there are lawyers, everyone is involved in this. A judge cannot sit down and just be corrupt. Everybody's.
He says campaign against corruption must be connected with the problem facing the country. The program is to scale up the fight against corruption in Nigeria. Jide Onifade is already putting the full report together. And as the anti-corruption agenda of the federal government continues to attract support across the globe, a non-governmental organization known as Anti-Corruption Enlightenment Drive Initiative has empowered 250 unemployed for self-reliance. The idea is to discourage the idle mind from being corrupt. Emmanuel Ayimiro tells us more.
Since the coming of the present administration, different approaches have been adopted to stem the tide of corruption. One of the kind is what Anti-Corruption Enlightenment Drive Initiative stands for, which is giving skills acquisition programs to youth such that they will no longer depend on government.
We wish to reiterate our commitment in supporting this administration of Muhammadu Buhari to continue to contribute our quota in fighting corruption to its barest minimum.
We announced it over the radio that we are going to have free training, and Nigerians turned up. Almost 300 people came for this program, and then now we are graduating 226 Nigerians who are unemployed.
Participants are of the view that if such enlightenment and empowerment initiatives had been going on at the grassroots, corruption would have been defeated long ago.
We participated in the catering and services class, and I've learned virtually anything about baking.
I came in as a technician, though I don't have much idea, but when I came to upgrade myself, and I learned a lot from it. That is why I want to use it to fight corruption in my own location.
The group says it has established contact with the Ministry of Education to carry out anti-corruption campaigns in schools across the nation. Emmanuel Ayimiro, NTA News.
The Inspector General of Police, Ibrahim Idris, also says the present administration's fight against corruption must be by all Nigerians. He stated this while receiving some members of the entertainment industry under the aegis of Voice of Change, Nigeria. Let's join Timothy Yusuf for details.
No matter what they say, they can never pull you down.
The visit of members of the entertainment industry to the IGP was essentially to seek protection in a rally to be organized by them across the 36 states of the Federation in support of the Buhari administration's fight against corruption, which they described as a fight to finish. The visiting members cut across Performing Musician Association of Nigeria, PMAN, Actors Guild of Nigeria, National Association of Nigerian Students, NANS, Civil Society Groups and Association of Local Government of Nigeria, ALGON.
The only way forward for Nigeria is to kill corruption, or corruption will kill Nigeria.
The Inspector General of Police reiterated his commitment to fighting corruption. He assured members of the Voice of Change Nigeria that all the commissioners of police in charge of state commands will be directed to provide adequate security for the group during their rallies.
You are in a vintage position to pass messages across that Nigeria is the only country we have and we cannot have the comfort to toy with the destinies of this country.
The IGP appreciated efforts of the entertainment industry, especially in engaging the youth in activities that deter them from partaking in crimes with a cumulative effect of reducing unemployment in the country. In Abuja, Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
The National Assembly has urged the Tertiary Education Trust Fund (TED Fund) to continue to pursue its new operational strategy that has now made its function vibrant in line with the current administration's drive in revamping tertiary education in the country. This was when the management of TED Fund appeared before the Senate Committee on Tertiary Institution and TED Fund to give details of their financial activities. National Assembly correspondent Ifeanyi Ezumba reports.
Before now, there was special allocation given to various universities which was abused. Government has resorted to increase in individual allocation to deserving institutions to allow proper funding. Executive Secretary TED Fund Abdullahi Bichi said their annual direct disbursement is put at 149 billion naira.
The zonal intervention in the 6 geopolitical zones, 12 billion naira. Designated project, 5.4 billion naira. Grants for new federal polytechnics, 3 billion naira.
We're satisfied and we are really happy with the way things are going in TED Fund, and we have the cause to urge the Executive Secretary and his team to continue the good work they are doing, because they are bringing in new innovation.
In another development, petroleum marketers appeared before the Senate Joint Committee on Petroleum Upstream, Downstream and Gas to intimate them on its bank debts arising from sudden fall in naira value against the dollar, a situation which the Executive Secretary, Depot and Petroleum Marketers Association says has badly affected their operations.
We were paid our reimbursement at the rate of naira-dollar exchange rate of 197. But imagine the exchange rate today, and that is what the banks have debited our accounts, and this is killing the business.
Even when the government tries to pay, which have tried to pay some forex differentials this year and last year, right? The how and criteria for the disbursement, it is still shrouded in mystery.
Now, between 2006 to 2016, Nigeria paid about 9 trillion naira in subsidy. You know, more than the budget of this country. And we are still talking of subsidy now.
Chairman of the Joint Committees also said there is need for subsidy to be tamed before it grounds the country. From the National Assembly, Ifeanyi Ezumba, NTA News.
And the need for greater vigilance and coordination of sting operations by security forces in Africa has been highlighted to surmount the new threats of insurgency and terrorism in the region. This is the suggestion of President Ibrahim Keita of Mali while receiving the Commandant, National Defense College, Rear Admiral Samuel Alade, and some participants of the National Defense College Course 25 on a study tour to Mali. Defense correspondent Isaac Onkuma reports from Bamako, the capital of Mali.
Applauding the recent success of the Nigerian military against Boko Haram, President Ibrahim Boubacar Keita noted that the new tactics of asymmetric warfare by terrorists is very challenging, hence the need to collaborate on intelligence gathering. He gave example of a recent collaboration between Nigerian and Malian intelligence services, which unmasked a notorious terrorist network in the region. President Keita called for daily consultation among the different security apparatus in the West African sub-region, as this will go a long way in addressing insecurity.
Because I know that doing this will be able to reinforce our intelligence services in coordinating, in adapting, and in utilizing our intelligence forces and our intelligence services.
He also advocated a regional special forces to tackle terrorism, drug trafficking, and trafficking in persons as they are transnational crimes. The Commandant, National Defense College, Rear Admiral Samuel Alade, is optimistic that the study tour will assist the participants in analyzing security and socio-cultural challenges of the region and formulating strategies in addressing them.
My government back home, gouvernement une fois à la maison, is also taking steps, to address the challenges of economic recession. apaiser les défis économiques. Spécifiquement,
efforts have been made to ensure
les accords de l'air,
that Nigeria takes its proper place
le Nigeria est la terre idéale
in contributing
pour contribuer
to international peace and security.
The NDC contingent to Mali also visited the International Institute for Peace, where they were briefed on the activities and programs of the center in the protection of civilians in conflict areas and its intention to expand its scope to de-radicalization and reintegration of ex-militants. From Bamako, Mali, Isaac Nkuma, NTA News.
And back home, the Speaker House of Representatives, Yakubu Dogara, has emphasized the strategic importance of women to society growth and development. He was addressing the maiden retreat of the House of Representatives Members' Wives Association. National Assembly correspondent Dennis Adegunloye reports.
As it becomes increasingly evident that participation of wives of political office holders is essential to building a sustainable democracy, this retreat provided an opportunity to take stock of the central role women play in supporting their husbands.
You have a great role to play in keeping our families together, for a well-organized family is the bedrock of any society.
The Speaker, in view of the existence of women in the House of Representatives, suggested a name change to House of Representatives Spouses Association, HOMSA. The retreat had the theme, Role of Spouses of Members of Parliament in a Representative Democracy. Meanwhile, the Ministries of Science and Technology and Environment and related agencies have defended the 2017 proposed appropriations for climate change-related projects.
We have a abiding responsibility to meet our NDC and demonstrate to the world that we are a serious nation.
The management of the National Center for Women Development also appeared before the House Committee on Women Affairs.
If used to train poor women, would go a long way in alleviating poverty.
From the National Assembly, Dennis Adegunloye, NTA News.
Time now to join Lagos Network Center for Stories Making Rounds the Zone. Ademola is our guide. Ademola, it's over to you.
Thank you, Femi. Good afternoon and warm welcome to Lagos. The Federal Ministry of Youth and Sports Development and the Lagos State Government have kick-started the process of rehabilitating the National Stadium Surulere, Lagos, with an inspection tour of some of the facilities. The entourage of the Sports Minister and the Lagos State Governor were conducted round by the Stadium Liaison Officer, Segun Akinlotan. Adiola Omokivi captured the inspection for NTA News.
Akinwumi Ambode arrived at the National Stadium, Lagos, Wednesday morning and was received by the Minister of Sports, Solomon Dalung, and other staff of the ministry. The governor and the minister were conducted round the multi-purpose indoor sports hall, where the problems bedeviling the facilities were highlighted. The team was also taken to the table tennis knock-up hall. There, the governor engaged one of the country's great female table tennis player and a six-time Olympian, Funke Oshunake, in a friendly game to the delight of all. Other pots of call by the governor and the minister were the old hockey pitch, the legacy pitch, the power generating room, and the main bowl. At the end of the inspection, the sports minister thanked the Lagos State government for agreeing to rehabilitate the edifice, which is a national monument, stating that the gesture is not a political one, but one that will return the edifice to its pride of place.
For Lagos State government to sustain the national stadium, there must be a Lagos State Infrastructure Development Agency. This agency will be saddled with the sole responsibility of management of the National Stadium.
On his part, Governor Ambode said the inner key to youth empowerment and employment is in re-establishing the National Stadium to its real world-class standard.
We just think that we need to stand up for leadership here and take over the National Stadium here. We want to bequeath something back to generations that are coming behind us, that we're not a generation of wasters.
Stakeholders in the nation's maritime industry have called on the federal government to pay critical attention to the great potential the sector offers. This was their consensus at a stakeholders meeting organized by the Nigerian Customs Service to create awareness on government's policies on imported goods and clearance procedures.
The stakeholders meeting became imperative in view of government's drive to diversify the economy and ensure trade facilitation, and also to ensure that contraband, arms and ammunition do not find their way into the Nigerian market. Controller Apapa Area Command, Nigeria Customs Service, Musa Jibril, while highlighting the roles of the relevant agencies, noted that synergy between the agencies is a vicious circle. As such, all hands must be on deck to move ports activities forward, as the sector is capable of funding the budget and provide employment.
It is a chain. Where there is a lacuna or a little break in the chain, almost everything collapses. So we want everybody to be up and doing. We want everybody to perform his responsibility the way he's supposed to.
Issues bordering on delaying clearance, shortage of jetties, power, designation of duties to maritime agencies, and renovation of the Lagos Port Complex were some of the issues raised at the meeting. The Controller of Customs also gave an update on the ongoing investigation of arms and ammunition imported into the country.
Some of the agents who also work with that agency and whom in the course of the examination we discovered they also have something to do with that declaration and have also been rounded up and statements taken.
He also seized the opportunity to call on maritime stakeholders to adhere to all rules governing port operations in the country, as the federal government will no longer tolerate unethical practices in the sector.
You're still watching Nationwide news on NTA Network Service. We now go back to Abuja for Nationwide. Back to you, Femi.
Thank you, Ademola. The federal government has continued to demonstrate its resolve to complete ongoing projects in the water resources sector with visits to dam projects and irrigation facilities. The latest is that which the team was led by the Minister of Water Resources to sites in Enugu State. Musbau Danwa was part of the team, and he now reports.
The slogan by the Water Resources Minister is, if they are intended to uplift standard of living, provide employment and boost the economy, then all ongoing projects must be completed, and fast too. Working the talk, the first port of call by the Minister, Suleiman Adamu, is Ivo River in Enugu State, where a multi-purpose dam that commenced in 2010 is still uncompleted. Located in Umpu village, sharing boundaries with Ebonyi State, Ivo Dam has irrigation facility, water treatment plants, and hydropower components. The land for irrigation is being prepared and the spillway under construction. But the minister, after inspecting the project, decried the project design and pace of work.
Priority to us is that this project must be finished and must be beneficial to the people. By God's grace, it will be finished as soon as possible.
Meanwhile, the people of Umpu village have been experiencing consequences of the non-completion of a project with their farmlands and homes swept off by flood. The Deputy Governor of Ebonyi State, Kelechi Igwe, was the voice of the victims, appealing to the federal government for palliative measures.
From the Ebonyi axis, over 10,000 hectares of land, rice farmland, was submerged by the flood that took place last year when they were trying to discharge the water from this dam.
Early warnings, if your land is going to be inundated, is going to be flooded, you have a right to be paid compensation for your land. So that will be done, but you have to bear with us.
The minister also visited Adada River Dam project, which commenced 2011, but is only 50% complete. It is to supply water to Nsukka and its environs. The team was also at the Lower Anambra irrigation project, which has suffered setbacks in supporting irrigation in the area. Musbau and Wahab, NT News.
Attaining self-sufficiency in food supply and boosting revenue generation through agriculture are part of the priorities of the federal government. However, agriculturalists are of the view that this could only be achieved with effective and efficient extension services and of good agricultural practices. In this report, agriculture correspondent Musa Babaliu takes a look at the agriculture extensive services in Nigeria and its role in agricultural development.
Extension workers, according to agriculturists, were behind the development of agriculture in Nigeria before and after the independence of the country. Extension workers were deployed to offer expert advice to farmers towards the improvement of production and processing of farm produce, as well as enable flow of information and transfer of knowledge among the farmers. World Bank standard is 1 extension worker to 800 to 1,000 farmers. But the ratio today, according to our investigation, is 1 extension worker to over 3,000 farmers.
Most of the extension agents are retiring or have retired. Some are dying. The issue of new employment and the issue of replacement is not there.
Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, Adu Ogbe, says the government identified the role of extension workers and therefore efforts are underway to establish extension service in each of the local government area nationwide.
There you can teach them things, give them resources, have harvesters, tractors to hire, and processing and what have you. And then we can achieve what the Europeans call traceability. Where is this crop from? What fertilizer was used? What chemical was applied?
Nasarawa, Kebbi, Katsina, and Kano state governors are also giving priority to extension services.
This, to me, would be taken to the highest level to ensure that every community in Nasarawa State benefits from the activities of extension services. This will go a long way in increasing production, protecting their yield against diseases, against other things.
With modern extension means we're having zonal extension centers. IR is one of the centers where we are going to be communicating through telephones, through internet and what have you with farmers directly.
Apart from recruiting more extension workers, agriculture economists are advocating adoption of indigenous technology that is friendly to the environment in farming activities. In Abuja, Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
The United Nations has described Nigeria as a leader in domesticating the Sustainable Development Goals at a conference organized by the United Nations Institute for Training and the Ministry of Budget and Planning. UN Assistant Secretary General said Nigeria has kept the momentum of the Sustainable Development Goals alive. Claire Adelabo Abdurazak reports.
With 17 goals and 169 targets and hundreds of indicators, the Sustainable Development Goals were thought to be the most ambitious development instrument ever. As governments start domesticating the instrument at country level, there is high demand for new processes and innovative solutions to achieve target. This UNITA Learning Conference provides a platform for practical knowledge sharing for least developed countries, LDCs, in Africa. Minister of State for Budget and Planning said Nigeria is integrating its National Development Plan to align with Vision 2020 and the SDGs.
The result of the work we have done is a new plan that we call the Nigeria Economic Recovery and Growth Plan, NERG, which will be launched by the President in this month of March.
Some participating countries share their areas of great need.
Data is our area of challenge. We need really evidence-based planning.
United Nations Assistant Secretary General and Executive Director UNITA list 4 priority areas for implementing countries.
In addition, the SDGs have a very important role for policy coherence between different kinds of policies, between poverty and water and hunger and health.
Mr. Seth commended Nigeria's leadership role in domesticating the SDGs process so far.
Nigeria has been a leader in the area of the SDGs, and they are doing a lot politically and keeping the momentum for the SDGs alive in this country.
This meeting is a very important one, and we hope that after it, the nations that are represented here will go back to find ways of replicating it at the national level.
17 African nations from least developed countries, LDCs, are participating in the conference. In Abuja, Claire Adelabo Abdurazak, NTA News.
Meanwhile, industrial output is believed to have significant impact on economic growth and development in any nation. In view of this, economic experts have also stressed the need to enhance public-private partnership to boost industrialization for economic growth in Nigeria. Justin Ben-Uwe reports.
Economic analysts are of the view that industries play a vital role in the economic growth and development of any country. Industrialization is regarded as a central object of economic policy in most of the developing economies like Nigeria.
There's not a single country in this world that has reached the high stage of economic and social development without having developed an advanced industrial sector.
In the Nigerian economy, the goal of industrialization has been pursued vigorously for many years by the various governments using various strategies. In identifying the importance of industrialization, an economic and finance expert, Dr. Emma Isong, observed that industrial development in Nigeria should rather be motivated as a culture towards a rapid economic growth.
So we have a lot to be desired if we must maintain industrialization, not just bringing machines. Industrialization is in the mind. Industrialization is a mentality. Industrialization is a culture of timekeeping, a culture of waste management, a culture of production, distribution through the middlemen and the retailers till it reaches to the market.
To achieve the desired level of economic growth and development, the economic analyst said Nigeria has to fully embrace the public-private partnership strategy and strive to implement policies on ease of doing business in the country.
It must be individuals, private investors, believing in the government policy, involving in the government programs that will synergize and cause what I call a public-private partnership that will drive this kind of environment for industrialization.
More efforts, he points out, is required as industrialization is regarded as a veritable channel of achieving lofty and desirable goals of improved technology and improved quality of lives of the citizens of the country. In Abuja, Justin Ben-Uwe, NTA News.
Obey standing by now as we go to Benin Network Center for more reports. Over to you.
Hello, Femi. Thank you for joining us in Benin. Edo State government has embarked on aggressive drive to boost rice production in the state. Governor Obaseki disclosed this at Ilushi, where he took some foreign investors on assessment of some areas close to the River Niger, where good quality rice could be grown. Good luck, Enaini reports.
The climate of Edo State is tropical with an average rainfall of between 150 centimeter in the far north of the state to 250 centimeter in the south, while the average temperature ranges between 25 degrees centigrade in the rainy season and 28 degrees centigrade in the dry season. With this favorable climatic condition and the cultivable land of over 1.1 million hectares, coupled with the agricultural investor-friendly policy of the state government, investors are beginning to indicate interest. Latest of these investors are those from Asia. Governor Obaseki, who took the investors to Ilushin community, where rice is largely cultivated, said government has identified places such as Ilushin and Anegbete for massive rice cultivation.
This trip is to enable us come and see for ourselves, the extent of what is available, so that we can send the technical people to come and begin to do the surveys.
It noted that the initiative would not only open up the area for development, but will create jobs for the teeming unemployed persons in the state. From Ilushin, I am Goodluck Enaini, NTA News.
The caucus of the All Progressives Congress in Edo State has passed a vote of confidence on Governor Godwin Obaseki, having assessed his performance in the last 100 days in office. The meeting, which was presided over by former governor of the state, Comrade Adams Oshomole, resolved to throw its weight behind the Obaseki-led administration. Again, Goodluck Enani has the report.
The first since the inauguration of the governor, the party says it is necessary as it will afford them the opportunity to have a robust discussion on how to arrive at some critical decisions that will assist government in delivering the goods. The meeting afforded Governor Obaseki an opportunity to present his scorecard.
I'm pleased to inform you that as to date, since we got in, we've rehabilitated more than 45 new roads within the metropolis. We're able to flag up the Abuja road in Edo North.
For me, I'm very proud that over 100 days, the governor had done as much. We need to give him all the support. We need to continue to remember him in our prayers, and I have no doubt that this is the way to start carrying the prayer along.
Because the foundation has been laid by the Comrade Governor. So that one is a given. The next level is the area of industrializing Edo and making Edo State a power hub.
The meeting later went into closed doors. In Benin, Goodluck Enani, NTA News.
The Delta State government is taking practical steps to subject the sludge allegedly deposited in Koko community, Warri North, to scientific analysis. The State Commissioner for Environment, John Nani, expressed government's stand while on an inspection tour of the area.
Visits of the commissioner is sequel to the alleged dumping of toxic waste in the community, of which the Nigeria Customs Service and the state government say a laboratory test will be conducted to determine their toxicity. This move is coming almost 3 decades after 8,000 drums of toxic waste were dumped in the community.
They manage waste for petroleum companies, and when they get the waste down here, they manage it to zero. The residual liquid from it, they use it to run their machines, and the byproduct from it is what they use for making blocks and civil work. That's what they've told us. And for now, we are taking that because we are going further to see whether what they told us now is the real position or not.
The area controller, Nigeria Customs Service, Edo and Delta States, Oni Egboma, says the command had made preliminary investigations.
If they were imported, I should have been in the know. That can be established. But with regards to the toxicity of the items, we're not in a position on face value to be able to confirm that based on further investigation.
We are having a good relationship with the community. There's no cause for alarm.
Residents of Koko community had cried out over the dumping of toxic, which is harmful to them, their plants and aquatic animals. Meanwhile, the House of Representatives has directed the committees on environment, petroleum resources, upstream and gas to carry out a probe on the matter.
And that's our package from Benin. Femi, it's over to you now for the rest of Nationwide News.
Thank you, Bey. You can watch this news live online via the NTA mobile app, which you can download on your Android device at the Google Play Store and also at the Apple Store if you use devices with iOS. And this is NTA Nationwide. Stand by now as we have more messages for you. Stay with us.
Change does not just happen. You and I and all of us must appreciate that we all have our part to play if we want to bring change about. We must change our lawless habits, our attitude to public office, and public trust. We must change our unruly behavior in schools, hospitals, marketplaces, motor parks, on the roads, in homes and offices. To bring about change, we must change ourselves by being law-abiding citizens.
Don't allow this thing to disgrace me.
It started with a race over nothing and something.
Soon, the race became an issue. But what issue is an issue when the reason for the issue is not an issue?
People just they run for time. I don't know what they pursue them. Why would they run now? Somebody tell me, why should I run?
Join us in 100 meters this week on Professor John Bull. Another refreshing episode of your rib-cracking comedy and social satire.
Hello there.
Showing at 8:30 p.m. every Tuesday and Friday on NTA Network International and Star Times.
Are you people safe? Hey.
Over and out.
Brought to you by Glow.
Welcome to the new speed of life.
The federal government's social investment program has begun. The poorest and most vulnerable in the land get 5,000 naira monthly, and phase 1 has started in 9 states of the federation. 200,000 unemployed graduates have been engaged in the NPower Volunteer Corps, designed to engage 500,000 people. 5.5 million children will be fed regularly in the homegrown school feeding program, which kicked off in 3 states last year, with 9 more to be added this year. And under the Government Enterprise and Empowerment Program, GEEP, thousands of cooperatives, market women, farmers, and enterprising youth have been receiving between 10,000 and 100,000 naira soft loans since November 2016. The Social Investment Program has begun. It can only get better. We promise change. Change is here.
Remi Abere is no ordinary woman. She's an angel to the millions of people who have been displaced and are living in substandard camps throughout Nigeria. We catch up with Remi to find out how her summit attempt went. And you never know when tragedy could strike.
We were 4 in the car. I think he must have got scared or something. And that's all I could remember.
It's finally here, the most anticipated sports show on live television, featuring great sports icons from ex-internationals to famed journalists and administrators. It doesn't come bigger than the Sports Parliament, which premieres live on the NTA network this Thursday from 11 p.m. till 12 midnight. Be a part of the biggest sports talk show on television to help chart a successful path for Nigerian sports. 11 p.m. to midnight on Thursday on the NTA. Sports Parliament, where the eggheads converge.
Following the approval of the whistleblowers policy by the Federal Executive Council and its launch by the Minister of Finance, Mrs. Kemi Adeosun, patriotic Nigerians have been making inquiries on how and where they could deliver information that could lead to the stopping or uncovering of fraud to the appropriate authority and answers to frequently asked questions. The Federal Ministry of Finance has therefore dedicated a telephone line for receiving SMS, a whistleblowers portal, and an email address through which members of the public who volunteer to disclose information about a possible misconduct or violation could deliver such information for the attention of the team dedicated to process such information.
This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
You're still on to NTA Nationwide and the revival of teacher training as partners here for addressing the failing standard of education in Nigeria has been described as the only way out of the challenges confronting the sector. This came to the fore when the Bauchi Teachers College Old Boys Association interacted with the Niger State Governor on his effort at reviving teacher training colleges in the state. Dauda Mohammed reports.
The quality of graduates from any institution of learning cannot go beyond the quality of their teachers, which is why teacher trainings are judged the best means of improving the education sector of any society. It is in recognition of efforts being made by the Niger State Governor, Abubakar Sani Bello, in reviving the education sector through the establishment of teacher training institutes in the 3 senatorial districts of the state, that an association of one of the oldest teacher training institutions in northern Nigeria, Bauchi Teachers College Old Students Association, which has been in the forefront of advocating for the establishment of teacher training colleges in Nigeria, came to identify with the state governor's efforts.
And the only way is to lay foundation at the grassroots level so that
the system will follow.
Niger State Governor Abubakar Sani Bello, who described the visit as an encouragement and motivation for him to do more for the education sector, reiterated his resolve to do the same.
So the whole idea of the training colleges in each zone is to train at least 2 in each session per ward, so that every ward will have a qualified teacher.
Established in 1931, Bauchi Teachers College has produced many notable personalities, which include current Speaker of the House of Representatives Yakubu Dogara and former Governor of Gombe State Danju Magoja in Mina, Dauda Mohammed, NTA News.
The journey to greatness deserves commitment, sacrifice, and peaceful coexistence in any nation. This was the thrust of the paper delivered by His Eminence John Cardinal on Noyeko at the annual Open Day and Public Lecture of Victory Land Institutions in Abuja. Kemi Fakeye reports.
In his paper titled Building a Great and Godly Nation, His Eminence John Cardinal Onayekon x-rayed the journey of Nigeria to nationhood and how the nation has fared. He described Nigeria as a work in progress like other developing nations, adding that the country's human and natural resources must be valued and tapped for national development.
Righteousness extols a nation. Our nation cannot be great, sincerely great, if it is not godly. If much of our efforts so far in building a great nation have been proven rather futile, it is because we often conveniently avoid godliness, hiding behind the mask of empty religiosity. We must be sincere in what we say in our constitution to build one nation under God. It is not too late.
Represented by the chaplain of State House Chapel, Pastor Joseph Malomo, the acting president said the nation's strength is evident in its population and geographical size. He stressed the need for Nigerians to embrace peaceful coexistence in playing their part in making the nation great.
That His Excellency sent me is to let us know that the greatest enemy of our nation, and I want to repeat this, the greatest enemy of our nation in building this godly and great nation is that word hate. That if we could replace hatred of one another for love for one another and love for our country, building a great and a godly nation will be a thing that we will achieve in no distant future.
Guests believe that the theme of the public lecture is apt, following the desire of Nigerians at this time.
It was God that brought this nation together, and He used the British colonialists. But it's up to us now to build a nation. We cannot wish Nigeria away again.
What we are asking is people to become part of us. Send your children here. We want to build them up godly. We are very concerned about that.
Established in 2012, Victory Land currently has 3 institutions, which are Victory International Institute of Theology and Education, Sam Ali College of Advanced Studies, and Sam Ali International Academy. Kemi Fakeye, NTA News.
The Federal Ministry of Education is collaborating along with a non-governmental organization on Children Accident Preventive Initiative to reduce road crashes involving school children across the country. Minister of Education Adamu stated this while inaugurating the project implementation and technical committee in Abuja. Joseph Orok has more.
Road crashes impact negatively on the health, quality, and well-being of school children in Nigeria. Records indicate that more than 100,000 children lose their rights to education through death or serious injuries in road crash yearly. These are mostly school children who do not enjoy the luxury of school buses, parents or guardians driving them to and from school. The inauguration signals the formal flag-off of the initiative titled Go to School, Be Seen, Be Safe, aimed at saving the lives of school children on the roads.
We are making sure that our partners, like Federal Road Safety, VIO, FEMA and others, they come to our aid because we are partnering with them in other areas of their specializations.
Beyond this inauguration, when you really start to walk the talk, help us to make the environment safe for all our children.
The initiative, which involves the construction of overhead pedestrian walkway, also intends to provide modern zebra crossing, school buses, first aid kits, patrol vehicle, and emergency clinics at basic and secondary schools in the country. With this inauguration, the committee is to reach out to schools like these across the country, which are yet to have zebra crossing along the road for the children. The committee will also be involved in distribution of about 30 million of this reflective jacket to guide the children while on the road. In Abuja, Joseph Orok, NTA News.
The well-being of physically challenged children through provision of special education and other rudiments is said to be the only way to give them a sense of belonging. This was echoed by the Defense and Police Officers' Wives Association, DEPOA, during a visit and donation to the Abuja Handicapped School in Kuje Area Council. Ilyasu Ali Yakubu completes the story.
Some of the items donated by DEPOA include assorted bags of grains and toiletries, among other items. President of DEPOA, Mrs. Omobolanle Olonishakin, said the association is poised to deliver on its mandate of helping the needy in the society. She expressed satisfaction with the mental improvement of the pupils and enjoined the school management to intensify effort.
A little love, a little support, and kindness go a long way to make a huge difference.
Head teacher of the school, Victoria Aga, thanked the association for the gesture and appealed for more assistance from other organizations.
My appeal to the government is that they should give us, mostly the supportive teachers, those people that take care of them in the hostel, because some of them cannot feed by themselves, they give them food and they cannot bath.
Some of the pupils also share in the joy of the moment.
I have a dream to be a politician. I see all the things you have brought. May God bless you and reward you. May the Lord reward you more and more and more.
The Abuja Handicapped School, established in May 1999, has so far graduated over 200 pupils who are presently in various higher institutions of learning, improving their capacity. In Abuja, Ilyasu Ali Yakubu, NTA News.
In line with the federal government's resolve to ensure universal health coverage, the Cross River State government has embarked on health outreach aimed at providing quality health care to citizenry. Umo Basiede reports that the outreach took the team to several schools in the hinterland with thousands of beneficiaries.
The health outreach led by the wife of the governor, Dr. Linda Ayade, seeks to reduce communicable and non-communicable diseases by creating the necessary awareness and enhancing access to primary health care. Dr. Ayade, who is also the Cross River Ambassador of Malaria, lamented the high level of malaria-related deaths and called on all to support the fight.
This is a very unique approach, as we believe that a student-led advocacy and sensitization campaign will impact more on the younger generation, on each other, and bring about the desired behavioral change in them.
Commissioner for Health, Dr. Yang Asibong, said the establishment of health clubs in secondary schools is to sensitize the youth on health issues. Director General of the Cross River State Primary Healthcare Development Agency, Dr. Betta Edu, also harped on the importance.
It's a club system that can take the message of malaria to the grassroots using young ambassadors.
Desktop computers and insecticide-treated nets were distributed among 15 selected schools in the Northern Senatorial District of Cross River State. In Calabar, Umar Basedet, NTA News.
Industrial Training Fund commences first phase of National Industrial Skills Development Program in 18 states of the Federation. Time now to join Charles in our Makurdi Network Center for this and more. It's over to you, Charles.
For joining us in Makurdi, the Industrial Training Fund, ITF, is to commence the first phase of its National Industrial Skills Development Program in 18 states of the Federation. Director General of ITF, Joseph Ari, disclosed this during his visit to some industries in Benue State and Nigerian Army School of Military Engineering. Here are the details. The visit of the Director General of Industrial Training Fund, ITF, Joseph Ari, to industries and institutions in Benue State is to share experiences on how best to provide requisite employable skills to Nigerians. This is to reduce unemployment and curb youth restiveness. The Director General, who decried the premium placed on paper qualification by the nation, said the effect of unskilled population has caused hardship for the country's economy. It is to this end that ITF is accelerating modalities at imparting entrepreneurial skills and modern business financing in Nigerians. The Director General also interfaced with the Commandant NASME, Major General Adekunle Sodunke, where he sought partnership with the school for the overall skills development.
When you look at the developed nations of the world, their hands-on, minds-on, hearts-on approach, and it has led them to be in the top 10.
The Commandant, who expressed the willingness of the school to participate in 3 areas of the program, lauded ITF for its good works.
You have cattle ranch, you have vegetable farms and the rest that we try to encourage them to form cooperatives.
18 states of the Federation, including Benue, are to have 500 trainees each in over 30 trades and crafts of the first phase of the skills development program. In Makurdi, more than 700 persons in Benue State have so far benefited from free antiretroviral therapy provided by AIDS Healthcare Foundation, AHF, a non-governmental organization. AHF Africa Bureau Chief Dr. Penina Yutang stated this while inaugurating newly built and renovated structures at the healthcare facility in Daudu near Makurdi, courtesy of the organization. Blessing Omeche Ebute reports.
The Joint United Nations Program on HIV/AIDS says, despite the progress made in the fight against the disease, young people continue to be the highest hit of the HIV disease. This they attribute to increased sexual violence and gender inequality. Although the prevalence rate of HIV is a major concern to stakeholders, only a few interventions are available to curb the epidemic. This informed the actions of the AIDS Healthcare Foundation, which include providing both technical and tangible support to states which have high HIV and AIDS burden.
We want the investment to show. We want to be able to turn the tide of HIV and AIDS in Benue State.
Africa Bureau Chief, AHF, Dr. Penania Itiong says, Benue State is critical partner in the fight against HIV and AIDS.
For me, the message is we are not here as a project. We are here as a program. And we'll continue to stay here for as long as you need us for, or for as long as the epidemic is here.
Representative of the Commissioner for Health and Human Services, Dr. Sunday Ochejele says, the state will continue to provide an enabling environment for partnership with implementing partners to reduce the scourge of HIV/AIDS pandemic. In Makurdi, Blessing Omeche Ebute, NTA News.
That report on healthcare runs off our contribution from Makurdi. Femi, it's back to you.
Thank you, Charles. Zimbabwean court outlaws corporal punishment, and this is part of the report we have for you on our Global Tidbits with Talatu Ezerike.
Mixed reactions in Zimbabwe over a court ruling that outlaws corporal punishment both at school and at the home. Though the ruling followed a parent's complaint of a child bruises from a teacher's beating, some parents are, however, not pleased with the judgment, while rights groups believe that it is long overdue. The Constitutional Court will have to confirm the judgment. From Sweden, the government has decided to reintroduce compulsory military service starting this summer to respond to global security challenges, including Russia. Similarly, German Chancellor Angela Merkel tours Egypt and Tunisia as part of her push to limit migrant flows to Europe. Also, ministers seek to overturn Brexit bill defeat by the House of Lords to guarantee the rights of EU nationals living in the UK after Brexit. And the European Parliament has removed French far-right leader Marine Le Pen's immunity from prosecution after she tweeted pictures of ISIS violence. She is currently running to be French president. That is all on Global Tidbits. Talati Zuriki, NTA News.
From global tidbits to sports now, where the Super Eagles technical advisor releases a 25-man list for Senegal and Burkina Faso friendlies, as more winners also imagine the 11th Nigerian Navy Games in Uyo. Then the sun is our guide on sports update.